Yeah, that's it. We got our second. Well, we used our second goal, didn't we? But I think it could have been any one of, like you say yourself, any one of five, couldn't it? Against like Swinton, the Oldham goal beat Hunslet, and then Rochdale beat North Wales, which was I think North Wales would have been up favourites. So it just proves playoff rugby it's as competitive as it ever is. But it's certainly nice to be in the big dance this weekend. After losing the first one, it was pretty like disheartening losing that first semi. It'd have been nice to win that one and then get a week off and go into it, but went down the other route, and it was to be fair, it was a little bit more satisfying as well winning this week because there was everything right in that game.
Well, Connor, a big thank you for joining us. And before we get to this weekend's final, big congratulations for that win against Rochdale. How was that game last weekend?
Yeah, it went a bit better than we thought, I think. We all intentions of the game being really tight, pushing us all the way to the end, watching them against North Wales, and to blow them away with a scoreline what we did was pleasing, and it's nice to carry some momentum going into this week.
I mean, Rochdale had momentum, going into that game, but it was quite a performance. So I'll give you too much of the game plan away, just in case Swinton are watching. But what was it all down to last week at the Keep Moat, do you feel?
We just based it on effort areas. The week before, it was slightly embarrassing for everybody. So we said we don't want to be beaten around the effort areas, and if you get all them right, come out the other side. And I think it proved that it looked like we just wanted it more. Take on after a while.
And with regards to your own performance generally this season, obviously you signed for the club ahead of this year. How have you taken to life at Doncaster? It seems, looking in from afar, you've certainly been enjoying yourself this year.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it, to be fair, mate. It's been nice. It's nice on the flip side as well, where we're not as full on, so I'm gonna get a bit more time at home, and I think that like work and home balance adds more like just general enjoyment when you go into rugby, because you're not there as much. It don't become monotonous sort of thing.
And what have you made of the competition more generally? Because I've got distant memory, years ago when you were at York, when York won that league, you had a storming season that year, didn't you? So back at League One now, I mean, what do you make of the competition? Since COVID and that kind of thing, in a competitive Doncaster side.
I think it's a little bit closer. This league's a lot closer than it was when I got promoted with York. I think there was us and Bradford, the closest to us. And I think the drift from second to say third and fourth, there was 10, 12 points in it. This year there was between third and I think fifth, there was 2. I think the competition is just getting better, and it's proven that because even Championship is really competitive now. And I think it's just getting better and better. And it's nice to see the fan league stuck with something instead of trying to sort of flick the League One off and go 2 tiers at the minute, which is good.
I mean, we see that with the playoffs, don't we? I mean, it was much of a muchness who was going to get to this final. So you must be pleased with that side of things, that it's going to be Doncaster taking on Swinton this weekend.
Yeah, that's it. We got our second. Well, we used our second goal, didn't we? But I think it could have been any one of, like you say yourself, any one of 5, couldn't it? Against like Swinton, the Oldham goal beat Hunslet, and then Rochdale beat North Wales, which was I think North Wales would have been up favourites. So it just proves playoff rugby it's as competitive as it ever is. But it's certainly nice to be in the big dance this weekend. After losing the first one, it was pretty like disheartening losing that first semi. It'd have been nice to win that one and then get a week off and go into it, but went down the other route, and to be fair, it was a little bit more satisfying as well winning this week because there was everything right in that game.
I mean, when you go back to the start of the playoffs and the North Wales Crusaders match away, I mean, that's a phenomenal achievement, isn't it? Because North Wales were brilliant this year, and to beat them at Colwyn Bay was some achievement, and that did give you a bit of a springboard heading into that first Swinton match.
Yeah, definitely. That was, I would say, not so much as a game plan what we had. It was a similar to what we said on if you match North Wales' effort, because we know we've got boys who can score points, post points, and as long as you go effort with them like teams away, which is hard to do because they're a big set. But going there and getting a victory certainly stands up and makes other people like have a look and think, well, they're not here just to have a laugh sort of thing.
And you mentioned the first Swinton match in that semi-final. Can we read anything into that game? Because I mean, it's a one-off game. This weekend's a one-off game. But again, we won't give you too much away. Is there learnings that you could take from that first Swinton match, which you could take into this final this weekend? Do you feel?
yeah, there's a lot to learn from it for us on our behalf. Not so much learning as in coaching areas and stuff like that. It's just individuals. So I was way off. I had come off injured. It, like personal, sort of take it personal. They might look into it and think, "Oh, good, we've got Donny," which some people do that, some people don't. I think their fans will certainly think, "Oh, this will be a walk in the park." But a one-off game in a grand final, if you can't get up for that game, I don't think you should be playing. And I think we'll be certainly revved up to go back there and try and put a decent performance up.
I mean, just to go back to Doncaster last year. I mean, I know you weren't with the squad, but there were players in that squad. Obviously, Richard Horn was head coach last year. I mean, speaking to some of your teammates who were part of that team, who were beaten at Workington last year in the final, is the learnings that have been taken from that big game last year as well?
Yeah, I think some of the lads who did play will obviously take that feeling from losing that final last year and use it to probably steal the self. But it's a completely different team who are playing, and well, to be fair, we're a completely different team. There's a lot more. I think there's a bit more experience and across the park. People playing in different positions now. We'll just see how we go, mate. It's one of them, innit? Grand final's a grand final. It's hard. You don't want to start blowing smoke up everybody. You just want to start a stringing a game together and go from there.
And for yourself as well, we touched upon your past experience with York and Halifax. You're no stranger to these big occasions. I mean, how important is that experience, not just from yourself, but from your teammates around you as well for these big games like the one this weekend?
Yeah, I think I'm looking. I want to help the lads get through it in as best way as I possibly can, and that for me is like what I didn't do 2 weeks ago. I didn't manage the game properly. I didn't kick how I should kick. I didn't organise how I should organise, and then I did it last week. So I'm hoping to do that again when it's really needed in a big game. And look, some boys, if they want to look towards me for a bit of direction, and Ben Johnston and other blocks like that, then so be it. And we need to stand up and get them through it.
And touching upon one game at a time, but there'll be Doncaster fans who'll be thinking, we're one game away here from being in Championship. You look at the League One tables over recent years. Doncaster always in the playoffs, like we said, in the final last year. What would it mean, do you feel, for the club? I know you've been there years, so you're bedded in now. What do you feel it would mean for the club to finally get into Betfred Championship with those facilities, and Carl and Richard and the support that Club Doncaster gives to the club? I mean, it'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'd be good for all parties involved, mate. Like you say, Club Doncaster will back the club endlessly when they can. If they're ever asked to do something, it's done. Rich has put the years of hard work in now. He's been there. God, he was there when I was at York. So what's that? 4 years ago, something like that. Ollie's one of the best blokes I've met. So I think everybody deserves another shot up there. And hopefully, if we can get up there, we stay up there and there for a number of years.
Well, it's going to be live on the Sportsman on Sunday from Haywood Road. I mean, you're going to need that travelling support as well, aren't you, this weekend, Connor?
Yeah, I hope nobody's got phone signal, so they have to go. But now, it'd be nice, as many there as you can, really. But I know it's hard for some people to get there, but hopefully they turn out in numbers and make a racket. They did it a couple of weeks ago, even when we was under the pump a bit. They got behind us and backed us, so we need it this week.
Well, Connor Robertson from Doncaster, big thank you for taking the time to join us this week, and big good luck this weekend.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate it.